Welcome to Pride and Prejudice, Episode 4, an audio dramatization of Jane Austen's classic, with original voice performances and bespoke images. In this episode, Mrs. Bennet hatches a plan. Jane rides to Mr. Bingley's estate on horseback, and by the next morning, Elizabeth receives troubling news. Elizabeth sets off on foot through 3 miles of mud. She arrives at Netherfield, and Mr. Darcy truly notices her for the first time. Then, at last, 2 sisters are reunited. We are about to join the Bennets for breakfast. Jane, the eldest daughter, has received a letter from Mr. Bingley's estate, and it leads to a lively discussion. Listen for Mrs. Bennett's reaction.
Well, Jane, who is it from? What is it about? What does he say? Well, Jane, make haste and tell us. Make haste, my love.
It is from Miss Bingley. My dear friend, if you are not so compassionate as to dine today with Louisa and me, we shall be in danger of hating each other for the rest of our lives, for a whole day's tete-a-tete between 2 women can never end without a quarrel. Come as soon as you can on receipt of this. My brother and the gentlemen are to dine with the officers. Yours ever, Caroline Bingley.
Jane is delighted to visit Netherfield, Mr. Bingley's estate, but her mother has other plans. She is hoping Jane can be persuaded to stay the night. Let's see if Mrs. Bennet gets what she wants.
Can I have the carriage?
No, my dear, you had better go on horseback, because it seems likely to rain, and then you must stay all night.
That would be a good scheme, if you were sure that they would not offer to send her home.
Oh, but the gentlemen will have Mr. Bingley's chaise to go to Meryton, and the Hursts have no horses to theirs.
I had much rather go in the coach.
But, my dear, your father cannot spare the horses, I am sure. They are wanted in the farm. Mr. Bennet, are not they?
They are wanted in the farm much oftener than I can get them.
But if you have got them today, my mother's purpose will be answered.
She did at last extort from her father an acknowledgement that the horses were engaged. Jane was therefore obliged to go on horseback, and her mother attended her to the door with many cheerful prognostics of a bad day. Her hopes were answered. The rain continued the whole evening without intermission. Jane certainly could not come back. "This was a lucky idea of mine, indeed," said Mrs. Bennet more than once, as if the credit of making it rain were all her own.
The scheme worked perfectly. But the next morning, Elizabeth receives a letter from her sister. Jane is unwell. Liz is a dedicated sister. She wants to help. Perhaps she has plans of her own.
My dearest Lizzie, I find myself very unwell this morning, which I suppose is to be imputed to my getting wet through yesterday. My kind friends will not hear of my returning home till I am better. They insist also on my seeing Mr. Jones. Therefore do not be alarmed if you should hear of his having been to me, and excepting a sore throat and a headache, there is not much the matter with me.
Well, my dear, if your daughter should have a dangerous fit of illness, if she should die, it would be a comfort to know that it was all in pursuit of Mr. Bingley, and under your orders.
Oh, I am not at all afraid of her dying. People do not die of little trifling colds. She will be taken good care of. As long as she stays there, it is all very well.
Undeterred by the mud and the distance, Elizabeth sets off on foot, 3 miles across open countryside. Why do you think she is so determined to reach her sister?
How can you be so silly as to think of such a thing in all this dirt? You will not be fit to be seen when you get there.
I shall be very fit to see Jane, which is all I want.
Is this a hint to me, Lizzie, to send for the horses?
No, indeed. I do not wish to avoid the walk. The distance is nothing when one has a motive, only 3 miles. I shall be back by dinner.
In Meryton they parted, and Elizabeth continued her walk alone, crossing field after field at a quick pace, jumping over stiles and springing over puddles with impatient activity, and finding herself at last within view of the house, with weary ankles, dirty stockings, and a face glowing with the warmth of exercise.
Elizabeth has arrived at Mr. Bingley's estate, during breakfast no less. windswept, muddy, and glowing. Watch how Mr. Darcy has changed his mind about her. Is it her dedication to her sister? Is it her walk across 3 miles of countryside? Or is it something else entirely?
She was shown into the breakfast parlour where all but Jane were assembled, and where her appearance created a great deal of surprise. That she should have walked 3 miles so early in the day, in such dirty weather, and by herself, was almost incredible to Mrs. Hurst and Miss Bingley, and Elizabeth was convinced that they held her in contempt for it. She was received, however, very politely by them, and in their brother's manners there was something better than politeness. There was good humour and kindness. Mr. Darcy said very little. He was divided between admiration of the brilliancy which exercise had given to her complexion, and doubt as to the occasions justifying her coming so far alone.
She has nothing, in short, to recommend her, but being an excellent walker. I shall never forget her appearance this morning. She really looked almost wild.
Very nonsensical to come at all. Why must she be scampering about the country? Because her sister had a cold.
I thought Miss Elizabeth Bennet looked remarkably well this morning. Her dirty petticoat quite escaped my notice.
You observed it, Mr. Darcy, I am sure. I am afraid that this adventure has rather affected your admiration of her fine eyes.
Not at all. They were brightened by the exercise.
At last, the two sisters are reunited. Let's look in on Jane and Liz. Liz finally fulfilling the mission she set out on this morning.
Elizabeth was glad to be taken to Jane immediately, and Jane, who had only been withheld by the fear of giving alarm from expressing in her note how much she longed for such a visit, was delighted at her entrance. She was not equal, however, to much conversation. Elizabeth silently attended her. When the clock struck 3, Elizabeth felt that she must go, and very unwillingly said so. Miss Bingley offered her the carriage, but Jane testified such concern at parting with her that Miss Bingley was obliged to convert the offer of the chaise into an invitation to remain at Netherfield for the present. Elizabeth most thankfully consented.
Mrs. Bennet got exactly what she wanted, Jane, under the same roof as Mr. Bingley. What she did not plan for was Elizabeth under that roof too. Remember this, because downstairs in that drawing room, Mr. Darcy is about to spend an entire evening trying not to stare at her. Next time, the drawing room at Netherfield and a conversation about what makes a woman truly accomplished.
And before we go, here is a word from Elizabeth Bennet.
Thanks, Charles. I am so glad you could stop by. We release new episodes every month, and we want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell us, what other classics would you like to hear come to life? Like and subscribe so you never miss a scene. Thank you so much for listening.